This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, welcome back. Chapter 3, Personal Finance course. Stuff they don't teach you in school, back at it. Let's rock and roll, guys. Let's talk about checking accounts, right? Checking accounts. We talked about debit cards, we talked about credit cards, talked about cash. Let's talk about checking accounts. Best way to get started, right? All right, let's kind of go over the best checking accounts for February 2020. Thank you to NerdWallet. We're not sponsored by them. I just like their website. Just a heads up. So here's the best checking accounts that they have right here. You can feel free to check out that link up there, nerdwallet.com, best checking accounts. Use at your own convenience. So we're going to kind of go over checking accounts, which ones have the best, what's best in basis to you, and what works for you, and credit unions. So there's two types of checking accounts, guys. There's ones from regular banks, brick and mortar banks. Then you have brick and mortar, meaning they have branches. You have Citibank, Bank of America, Chase, those kind of names. SunTrust here in Florida, tons of them, right? You know the names. Wells Fargo, for example. So those guys, they have banks everywhere. You can walk in, open a checking account, put a deposit, you're ready to rock. You get checks right away, you get a debit card right away. Very, very, very easy. Sometimes those banks offer you deals to actually start. You deposit $1,000 or whatever, you get some money back. Pretty cool stuff. And you got to do some couple things here and there in order to keep them happy and to pay you. Sometimes they give you interest, very little, but again, they offer that. So you have brick and mortar checking, which is the Citibanks, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo's of the world. Then you have online checking accounts where everything is online. There is no branch. Everything is just done online, right? Your statements are done online. Your debit card comes through the mail. In order to make deposits, you have to either mail the deposits or do electronic from a different bank, right? Those are checking accounts as well, but they're all online. There is no teller. There is no loan officer you could talk to. Nothing. There's no lights. There's no desks. Nothing. It keeps their overhead down, so they give you the best rates of return on the checking, meaning interest to you and a lot of free perks, right? They may not give you money to start, but again, it's a good way. The next one is credit unions. Credit unions are not a corporation for profit. They just have shareholders, meaning you. If you open an account with a credit union, you're a shareholder of it. They don't accept this everybody. Some of them are just particular, based on unions, credit union, right? So if you are a teacher and you're part of a teacher's credit union, you have your own credit union based on the city you work for or the actual union you belong to. Let's say you're military. There's different military credit unions. For example, Navy Federal Credit Union. Only if you're in the military can you join. Or if your family is in the military, you can join. They give great rates on loans. They give great rates on savings. A lot more customer centric because they're not for profit. Those are not available for everybody, but they're great. So again, there's different types for every person. So again, let's kind of break it down to us three together. Number one, brick and mortar banks, right? Chase, Bank of America, Citibank, Wells Fargo. The benefits of them, they're everywhere. They're nationwide. You'll always find an ATM. You'll always find a bank if you need something, right? If you have an issue with a check, you need an extra check, cashier's check, you need a replacement of your debit card, you need to make a deposit of cash, those banks are good for you. Those are the best. So if you're more of a full service, you need more help with your banking, you have a lot of checks you need to deposit, maybe you have a business or something like that, then you need a brick and mortar bank, your local bank, where you can actually make deposits, take out cash. You start knowing the branch manager, you start knowing the tellers who'll take care of you. Those are great ways. That's a great way to have that bank where you have your neighborhood customer service and those banks, right? They have the highest fees, mind you. So again, they ain't free sometimes. They have the highest fees, but again, the most convenient. If you need access to your money, you write a lot of checks, you deposit a lot of checks, you deposit a lot of cash. So again, those are brick and mortar banks. Think of brick and mortar, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, those boys. Next is online banking. Online banking, let's say, for example, Ally Bank, right? Ally Bank's right here, or Capital One. Some of them have branches, but they're mostly online. You don't see a lot of Ally Bank branches. There is none, but there's some Capital One banks branches. There's one here in downtown Miami. So again, you may not have the access that you would in regards to Citibank, Wells Fargo, Chase, Bank of America, right? But let's say you're all about, I'm an online guy. I want to find stuff online. I want to get the best rate of return on my savings. I want to make sure that, I don't have a lot of checks to deposit, man. I don't even write checks. I'm all about my debit card. I'm all about online. I'm all about the app. Online checking is for you, or online savings is for you, because there's less overhead and they pass that savings to you. Keep in mind that. And the next one is credit unions. Credit unions, again, very customer centric. They're there to help you, but there's not a lot of branches around. They may not have the best tech like those online savings accounts or online checking accounts do. Maybe it takes a couple of days to get a debit card. But again, if you're the type where you want a little more balance, where you know what, I don't want to pay a lot of fees, but I like customer service, credit unions are for you. You can always Google which credit unions you can get into. Some of them are very exclusive, military, teachers union, depends on the company you work for. If you work for American Airlines, they have their own credit union, for example. They're maybe exclusive, maybe you can't get in, but there's some other ones out there that are available to everybody. It's just your opportunity just to Google. So let's kind of do it together. So credit unions, if I could spell, for all. So which credit unions are for everybody? So you can always go to NerdWallet. Let's go to NerdWallet. And you can see there's Allianz, there's Connex Us, First Tech, there's some teens and college students. Again, there's tons. Feel free to check out nerdwallet.com under their blog, best credit unions, and you could find something for you if that's the route you want to go to. Now, again, like I said, each of them have their downfall. Credit unions don't have a lot of branches. They're probably like 5, and it's only in that area, in that city. If you move, guess what? And you have a check to deposit, paper checks, you're gonna have to send it by mail. It takes a little bit of time. If you lose your debit card, it's gonna take time. You can't just walk into a Chase and get one. You'd have to order online, just like the online savings. And their savings accounts are probably not the best because they still have overhead. So it really is that comparison of which is best for you. What I use, I have Citibank for my brick and mortar checking because I used to work there. So again, I've had them for years, kept it, makes it easy. I also have online savings, Ally Bank. I like to have a couple of savings, a couple of accounts. So again, that's just the way I do things. I like Ally Bank savings. This is not a sponsorship for them. I'm not getting paid for that statement. Ally Bank is what I use for savings. Easy to transfer from Citibank and back and forth. If I have an extra cash, they pay better interest than Citibank. Citibank doesn't pay much on savings, but I understand that I used to have them for long. I have my checks for them. I write one check a month, which is to my landlord from my place. That's the only check I write. Everything else is basically online doing. So understand that. Now, with that being said, what you choose is really up to you. There is no wrong answer. There's no right answer. It's really based on preference. So again, if you're the type where everything is online, you just like online stuff, you prefer, you don't write a lot of checks, you don't even receive a lot of checks, you probably don't even use a lot of cash, online savings for you. The best part with online savings and credit unions is that sometimes they refund you your ATM fees. If you use an ATM card and you are at a bar or a restaurant and they have an ATM and it's not your bank and you have Citibank and there's a Chase ATM, you're going to get charged for using it. You're going to get charged by your bank. You're going to get charged by Chase for accessing their money. Again, you can have the money, but it's going to charge you. So if you take out 20 bucks, sometimes it's $1 or $2. What's great about online savings is that sometimes they reimburse you. Ally Bank reimburses you up to 6 times a month. So if you use a ATM card, they'll reimburse you for the fees. They will not charge you for taking out cash, and they will refund you any fee that Chase does. Chase will charge you $3 for an ATM. So instead of you taking out $20, you take out $23 debited. You take out 20 is yours, and then $3 will come out as a fee from your bank account. Well, Ally Bank reimburses you for that. So you'll get that $3 back, which is pretty cool. Some credit unions do it too. So again, if you're the type where I need ATM access everywhere and I don't care about a bank, hey, online banking's for you. Or credit unions, they do help. And what's cool is that if you also prefer the brick and mortars and you kind of want some, little reward for starting up with them, take a look at, for example, Chase. They'll give you some cash to start. Again, all you have to do is kind of have a couple of things there. You're gonna have to either do direct deposit with your bank, with your company, or maintain a minimum balance. Online checking does not do that. The online checking is like Ally or the checking accounts at credit unions. There is no fees in regards to monthly maintenance fees. You may get charged overdraft fees, of course, or check return fees or something like that. But when it comes to writing a check, getting a statement, or for example, just having the account just because your account's live, Chase is going to charge you, Citibank's going to charge you, Wells Fargo is going to charge you unless you do certain activities like direct deposit. Direct deposit is basically your paycheck coming in directly into your account. No paper check, just comes directly to your account every 2 weeks or every month or however you have your bank account set up. If you want direct deposit set up, it's very simple. Go to your human resources department at your company and tell them that you want to get set up for direct deposit. All you need is your routing number and your checking account number. We talked about that at the bottom of your checks. We talked about that in the last chapter. Very easy to get. It'll take about a couple of weeks to get that set up. But guess what? Once you have direct deposit, some of your brick and mortar accounts will be free. You won't get charged monthly fees, but ATM fees are still there. You'll always have overdraft fees. We don't want that to happen to you. But again, that helps. Direct deposit, I highly recommend it for everybody. No paper checks. There's no holds for depositing a check. Sometimes, guys, just understand when you deposit a check into your bank, depending on how long you've had your account, it takes a couple of days to go through, 2 to 3 days, depending on what kind of check it is. So understand that direct deposit is your friend. If you have a tax return, for example, through the government, tax refunds, you can get that direct deposited. All you need is your bank account number, we talked about in the last chapter, and your routing number. Very, very easy. So remember, direct deposit, great way to get started on your checking account. Usually we'll waive the fees. You don't need that for an online checking. Sometimes you don't need it for a credit union. Again, just speak to your HR department, human resources, or your boss, and they can walk you through it. Very simple. Should be no charge. Great way to get started, guys. So again, let's kind of go over, summarize here. You have your brick and mortar checking accounts, which is, for example, Citibank, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Chase. There's higher fees there, but you get rewards sometimes for being with them. You build a relationship with them. But there is fees, just so you know, ATM fees, maintenance fees. You have to do certain activities just to keep it free. Free, right? The next one, middle of the road, or kind of say in the middle, is online checking. For example, like Ally Bank, you can use online checking. There is no branches, mind you, so you don't get that customer service, but everything's online. They usually have really cool apps so you can check your bank account. You can deposit checks using your app by taking a photo of it, and it goes right away. Another benefit, and there's no minimum monthly charge. There is no minimum balance. Very simple. But again, not a lot of branches, but they can reimburse you for ATM fees, for example. And sometimes, guys, those online checking accounts don't have checks. Keep that in mind. And then the third one is your credit unions. Credit unions have checks, has branches, customer service, and lower fees. Problem is that they're not available everywhere. Sometimes they may not be available for you. So again, you want to take a look at the benefits of all three and pick which one you want. Best thing I can tell you guys, set up direct deposit, have your paycheck directly deposited into your checking account. Makes life so much easier. Please don't make sure not to pay any fees you don't need to pay. So again, if you don't go to Chase a lot and you don't need a lot of money out or anything like that, maybe banking with Chase isn't a good idea. Maybe get an Ally Bank or a credit union. If you can't get into a credit union at all, and you're the type of person where there's a Chase on every single block of my house, and I have direct deposit, get with Chase, for example. Chase is not paying me for that statement, by the way. And if you're the type of person where I'm all online, man, I don't write checks, I like them on my app, man, I just want to get my money out, all good, Ally Bank is for you guys. Or for example, online banking, Capital One or whatever. Tons of options out there, guys. So again, you can take a look at this this website here at the top left, nerdwallet.com, best checking accounts February 2020. Feel free to take a look, compare, contrast. Make sure to understand, once you open a checking account, you're building a relationship with this bank. They want your money. They want you to be with them. So again, be the best shopper you can be. They all want your money. Make sure you pick the best one that's right for you, as always, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in this chapter. We'll catch you for the next one, guys.